morning, Seedleys. It is bright and early. They're getting Savannah ready to go downstairs for her surgery. So we'll be going downstairs pretty soon. It's 6 o'clock. She's supposed to go down at 6:30. So our transport's coming at 6:30 to get her. There was not a lot of sleep last night for sure. So, but that's just what's going on this morning. Hey Seedleys, I'm back in the room. Savannah has been taken back for surgery, so I'm back in the room waiting. They're trying to prevent as much people in the waiting room, so they sent me back to my room. So that is what I'm doing. Hey guys, so I just heard from the doctor, and there was, I don't know the details fully, but there was some issues with her Gtube. It is in, but it was only supposed to take 30 minutes, and it took 2.5 hours. He said he would explain it more to me in a little bit, but he wanted to call and let me know they're just now starting on the Malone. As a mom, obviously it makes me upset to know that there was some form of complication. And hopefully it's not as bad, but for a procedure that was supposed to only take 30 minutes, it took 2.5 hours. It makes me a little concerned. So, I now have another 1.5 hours to sit here and wait for them to finish the Malone. Or he's just now starting it. And then hopefully there'll be no complications with that. That is usually more the trickier surgery, so obviously I'm a little worried. I was really hoping for no issues. For her sake. She's been through so much. Anyways, I just wanted to give y'all an update since I just got an update. So it looks like her surgery is going to take 4 to 5 hours. So I'll update y'all as soon as I know something else and I know what happened and what went on. But I'm going to make some phone calls and give some updates, which y'all will probably see obviously before this vlog, because I'm doing my best to keep y'all updated as things go on. But I need to make some phone calls first before I update on Instagram or Facebook. And like I said, as soon as I know what happened and why there was such an issue and why a 30-minute procedure took 2.5 hours, I will let y'all know.
Alright. Phone call number 2. More complications. He wants to do a scope, so he called to get approval to do a scope to check her stomach, to make sure the balloon looks okay, and he said to make sure there's no holes. I'm assuming he will go further into that one. And then as far as the Malone, apparently so the way the Malone works is they use part of the appendix, they use the appendix like to make the track. Apparently her appendix is small, so he's struggling getting the Malone in, and so he may have to do another form of the Malone with the long tube, and then after she heals, go back in the OR, put her under anesthesia again, go back in the OR, and then put in the mini ACE button. I want to look real quick. He used the term AMT. Okay, so the AMT is the mini button. So that is what she's wanting. However, it's looking like they may have to do the long tube out first, and then after she's healed, we'd come back. She goes back in the OR, and then he places the AMT, the mini ACE button. This poor kid. The Malone isn't taking as long as he suspected it would. He said an hour and a half, and there's 43 minutes left. Yes, I set a timer because I'm starting to stress on how long she's been in there. I guess we'll just see what he says once he's out, and can talk to me and tell me exactly what has happened and went on. Definitely not the way I wanted her surgery to go, for sure. So it'll probably be still another 30 minutes because he's going to do the scope and whatnot too. I'm trying to sidetrack my mind. I'm editing. Hopefully soon she will be in recovery and out of the OR, and at least then I can breathe a little bit because she'll be out of the OR. So I'm going to finish editing and wait for them to call me and tell me she's in PACU so I can go see her. Alrighty, I am downstairs waiting to talk to the doctor now. They are finished with her. Her surgery took 4 hours and 10 minutes. Hey Zeeblies. It is about 7:30 at night, and I can show y'all Savannah. She is doing a lot better. Still having, you look mad. Still having pain. She's having a lot of gas pain right now. Just air trapped in her shoulders. Anyone who's had surgery knows how awful that pain from the air that they put in your abdomen to be able to see travels up and under the diaphragm and radiates into the shoulders, and it's like the worst pain ever. So I wanted to explain her surgery. So, little backstory. If you're new here, Savannah has Ehlers Danlos Syndrome. She has some umbrella issues also, but her primary issue is Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder. So Savannah today got a Gtube, which is a surgical feeding tube, and a Malone, which goes into the large intestines. Now, the surgery to get all together was only supposed to take 2.5 hours. The Gtube was only supposed to take about 30 minutes, and the Malone about an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. So she goes back to surgery, and we hit the 2.5 hour mark, and I get a phone call. And at first I'm excited because it's like right on time. Like 2.5 hours, I can go see my baby. Well, it wasn't the best news that we were hoping for. Dr. Garrison said, hey, I just finished Savannah's Gtube. We had some issues. I'll explain it to you later. I'm starting on her Malone now. That'll probably take about an hour and a half. And he hangs, and we get off the phone. And I was like, okay. So I get off the phone, and I called my mom, and I even spoke to y'all just about what the doctor said at that point in time. So what happened was when he put the Gtube into her stomach, when it goes in, like if this is the hole in her stomach, it goes in, there's a balloon on this end which they blow up, and that's what holds the Gtube in place so it can't just fall out. Well, they did that, and they flush it. They flush it to make sure everything's working properly. Well, when they flushed it, it started leaking, like there was not something right. So he gets to looking, trying to figure out what's going on. It takes him a while to try and search and figure out what the problem area is, which is why it took so long. And come to find out, on that Gtube, so if this is the balloon, the stomach, the lining of the stomach, that in the muscle, like the whole part of that, on one side of the tube was nice smoothly over. On the other part of the tube, it was all bubbled up, which from what we think happened was that because of her EDS, the tissue in the stomach didn't hold shape like it should, and so it stretched it and kind of tore it, like there was a little hole, so he had to fix that. So that's what happened with that. And then about 30 minutes later, after he hangs up the phone, I get a phone call again. Now, he had told me it was going to be an hour and a half for the Malone, so I knew after 30 minutes that there had to be another problem. So when he called me, he said that he was trying to put the Malone in, and Savannah wants a button for her Malone, not just a tube. So when he tried to put the button in, it wouldn't stay. It was too small. So, and then the next size up was too big. So he tried twice, and he tried twice, and then he called me and he said, hey, two things. I would like to do a scope to check her stomach to make sure there's not any holes or anything that we've missed. And then secondly, I can't get this in. Her appendix is small, and I'm struggling to get this in. So I'm probably going to have to leave it with the long tube. He was really sweet. He was like, is Savannah going to be okay with that? He was really worried about Savannah and the way it looked and whatnot for this period of time. And I was like, no, it's fine. We were kind of under the understanding she was going to go home with long tubes on each one anyways. So, and then he was asking for approval to do the scope. So that's what he couldn't get the button in. So she just ended up with a long tubing. Are you okay, sweetie? My heating pad? Yes. So that was that. So a 2.5 hour surgery turned into a 4 hour and 10-minute surgery. So then it comes time for recovery, and they took a while to let me come back after I talked to the doctor. But once I got back there, they were giving her pain medicine. Now, Dr. Garris and I had discussed in the conference room Vanna's pain management because her surgery was more in depth, more of an issue that we felt that maybe she would benefit from a pain pump. We're trying to stay away from the pain medicine as much as possible, but being that this surgery was not your normal basic Gtube surgery, we decided to go with the pain pump for her. So I get in there, they've given her some pain medicine, they're hooking her up to the pain pump. Now, Savannah's not used to having big time pain medicine. That's not something she gets very often at all. And she was just in pain and in pain and in pain. So we had her push her pain pump. A little bit later, she was in pain again. Push her pain pump again, just trying to get her pain under control. And it was like it all hit at one time. So we ended up in recovery for 4 hours because Savannah's oxygen sats were dropping quite a bit, and her oxygen, how many breaths per minute, would drop to like 6 breaths per minute, and she would get like apnea. And so that took a while to get her situated, but once we did and her breathing started to level out, we were able to come upstairs. She slept for a good sleep for a couple of hours, and now she's just kind of off and on. She is having, like I said, a lot of the gas pain in her shoulders. She does have to get up here soon, so we have to get her up just briefly, and so that's where we are. So hopefully the rest of the night will be very calm and just get her up when we need to get her up, and besides that, it be great. And then tomorrow I have to get her walking more and more, so we will be here for a while. She now can't eat for 2 days. Normally they just wait till the bowels wake up, but now she can't eat for 2 days, and she has to have an extra day of antibiotics because of the complications in her surgery. So that's where we are. She's doing good though. She's doing really good for everything she's dealt with. Alright, sorry about that. Shift change and the new nurses came in. So yeah, that's just where we are. Our room, you can really hear the sirens. They're quite loud. But yeah, we're just resting, relaxing, chilling, whatever you want to call it. So unless anything happens tonight, this will probably be the end of the vlog, just because we're just literally sitting in the room doing nothing. So unless that changes, then I will see y'all tomorrow.